Went to Carlos Avery, got another batch of sticks. Yeah, we got this big snowstorm going on right now. It's the middle of April, and I went out there just before everything really started thawing out, so it was solid enough for me to walk around in the deep stuff. And these pussy willows, they just started budding out. So I'm hoping that this bark is wet enough so it'll come off real nice. Yeah, this is why you use a dull knife on these, because getting around all these diamonds, if you actually had a sharp knife, you'd be digging into the wood a lot. And I really don't like doing that. Yep, a dull roofing knife seems to be the best blade that I've used for peeling these. Yeah, that's a beautiful piece right there. That's going to take a long time to carve out. And yeah, I put this in a steam bender and I'll be able to straighten it out. And look, it's as big as my thumb, a little smaller. That's a perfect size as far as I'm concerned. Perfect size. It'll be a nice light stick. I don't like them any bigger than that. Yeah. So I'm going to let this one dry. I already showed you a video where I peeled some in the middle of the winter when it was like 1 below out. And I put them in my steam bender and shut the door, and it was actually too humid in there. They didn't crack at all, but I pulled them out like a month or 2 months later, and they were actually starting to get mold on them. So I took them out and I just let them dry in my basement. And they were probably about half dry, maybe a little more, because I left them sit in that steam bender with the door closed. So they didn't crack at all, which is nice. None of them cracked. So this one too is too dry. So I'm probably going to put these in my steam bender too, and I'm going to leave the door a little bit open. I won't shut it all the way. I'm going to let these dry really slow. Because yeah, the more diamonds on them, the harder it is to get them to dry without cracking. And you really want about 70-75% humidity. I figure anything over 65% is really good. Usually that's where the way I keep my basement is at 65%. So that's why I say 65%, but actually about 70-75, maybe even 80% humidity is better. Because it dries and it takes longer to dry, and it doesn't crack as easy. So, yeah, alright, I'm going to do another one. There's my piece. Really, really beautiful. I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it. It's a good walking stick. It's really thin on the bottom too. Smaller than my thumb. It's almost small enough on the base to put a trekking pole end on, you know, and now that I got the bark off, it's a little bigger than my thumb. It's really nice, really nice. Pretty cool pieces, man. Pretty cool.